Before I came to the Philippines, I was hoping I could convince Faith to have a non-monogamous relationship.
My Yourwetsock, welcome back to another video. I hope you all are having a great day today. Today's video is sponsored by the Yourwetsock YouTube channel, so make sure you ring that bell to stay notified for when we drop new videos. I appreciate y'all so much. Now that the flattery's done, let's get into today's video, because at the end of episode 10, Faith said to the fam bam, "Did you know the illness of the whores?" And because of the conversation that Loren and Faith had in a previous episode, we know that this is the literal translation for gonorrhea in Faith's native tongue. So right now, Faith is informing the family that Loren has been cheating this entire time and contracted gonorrhea from getting topped off by one of his so-called friends back in Las Vegas.
So yesterday, Faith planned this lovely day out, and then I decided this is a great moment to tell Faith I have gonorrhea.
So Loren said this in a boastful way to his ex with a smile on his face, because since day one, he never viewed Faith as a fellow human being, and it shows. During their conversation, we learned a couple things. For starters, that lust and gluttony look a lot different than they did in Full Metal Alchemist. During Loren's conversation with Esther, he called his Halloween hookup his date, but told Faith it was just a friend, which shows this disingenuous snake communicates different messages depending on who he's speaking with. And sadly enough, Esther wasn't honest with Loren, which comes as no shock, because what kind of person would be friends with Loren in the first place? Probably an enabler that finds his low moral, chaotic life entertaining. In fact, Sots, I know that Halloween already passed. I'm not sure what Loren went as this year, but funny story. So the day of Halloween, our little brother Christian didn't have a costume. So I was like, oh, dude, get in the car. I'll drive you to Spirit Halloween. We drive there, and I see the perfect costume for Loren. Check this out. Baphomet. Because we all know Loren wants to get baffed up.
I believe you can have sex with your partner and have love and passion and make it very personal. And then you also can go out and have sex with somebody else simply for the fact that it's something different and something new. Maybe they know something you don't know. They can teach you something.
And how much of a mooch is Loren Allen? I'm happy you asked, because in addition to what Faith was telling the fam bam, it turns out that Loren also asked Faith if he can marry Faith's mother, because same-sex marriage isn't allowed in the Philippines, and that's a good route to take for him to get citizenship. So once again, it's about what he can gain in this relationship with Faith. So when Loren communicates his selfish and outright inappropriate plan, Faith says it all. Because how dare you, sir, after cheating on me throughout this entire relationship, telling me you love me the entire time, which in retrospect was obviously a lie, communicate that you're homeless in America. That's another huge red flag and valuable information I would have liked to know before I entered this relationship. Honest to God, Socks, the more I talk about it, the more irritated I get, because Faith has given Loren all the chances in the world, and the level of forgiveness and patience is astounding. The lengths that this crumb will go to live in the Philippines. And what exactly are you going to do over there? Because he doesn't have the skill set. He doesn't have the know-how. He doesn't speak the language. He's not really familiar with the culture. He's someone that enters relationships with ladyboys and trans people in order to manipulate them, and chooses targets that struggle with their self-worth, self-confidence. Otherwise, you wouldn't enter a relationship with a bum like this in the first place. In our last video on Loren and Faith, we covered a lot of the idiotic posts that Loren makes on Reddit. I left out a couple that we're going to be reviewing together in this video. Denny Locks asked, you mentioned being on 2 Philippines dating sites. Why the Philippines specifically? And Loren responded, I have lots of Philippines friends, and Philippines speaks enough English. There I can live in a small rundown shack peacefully, unlike evil, controlling America. Instead of doing the right things, paying your child support, showing up for your family, and living up to the expectations that the loved ones in your life already have for you, you instead choose to try and get around paying child support by preying on ladyboys, entering monogamous relationships with them, telling them that you love them in only the first day, something he bragged to the audience of 90 Day Fiancé about. Yeah, that phrase means something. Don't say I love you if you don't mean it. It's not that complicated, to be honest. So then, cheating on that person throughout the entire relationship, constantly making that person feel like you're invested in this relationship when you have wandering eyes and you chase instant gratification. And then you have the audacity to blame it on my city, to blame it on America. You can't live the lifestyle you want because you made piss poor decisions for your life. That's why you don't have the lifestyle you want. You could have a shack here in America, buddy. You can have a lot more than that. You could have a mega mansion. Who are you to judge the United States of America when realistically we could drop you off at any country around the world and you'd be a failure there as well because your mental sucks.
I don't necessarily want us to be an exclusive couple even after I go to the Philippines, because I don't really believe in monogamy.
He chooses to eat out of the trash, constantly badmouth his baby mama and his children on social media, regardless of whether that is on Reddit or that's on Instagram. He chooses to live this lifestyle where there's no discipline, there's no honor, there's no respect, and it shows given his reality. What's funny for me about this as well is that I've actually lived in other countries. I've lived in the UK, I've lived in the Netherlands, I've lived in Bulgaria, and every single place I moved to, I was given out respect and receiving respect in return. I wasn't bad-mouthing the country I was residing in. It's so ridiculous to try and blame a country for why you're not hitting your personal goals, when if you take care of business and you stand on business, you can hit your goals regardless of where you're at. Is there going to be challenges? Absolutely. There's challenges regardless of where you're living in the world. We can't control the cards we're dealt, but it's about what we do with them, right? When Seto Kaiba's summoning all these blue eyes white dragons, Yugi had the heart of the cards, and then bam, he summoned Exodia. That's the way we got to think about that. A little Yu-Gi-Oh reference there, but it's the truth. And what's so backwards about Loren is that he actually has a good deck of cards, believe it or not. He's said multiple times on Instagram and on Reddit that his family's rich. They have money. So he chooses to eat out of the trash. He chooses to live his life this way. And a lot of fans are speculating that he does so in order to pay his baby mama less money, less child support for his children. He has also wrote publicly that Vegas is a bad place to raise a family. I was born and raised here, as was my brother, as were our friends. And it's interesting that you will constantly say that other people can't say the word ladyboy. It's disrespectful to the trans community when it's not in the Philippines, because that's how they refer to themselves. And look, I'm not the most gifted orator in any way, shape, or form, but have y'all noticed the rise of people that die on the hill for communities that they're not a member of? Does anyone else find that really weird? For example, Loren, he's not trans, but he's so trans brainwashed. He's like trying to do the most for the trans community, but he's actually hurting them. It's almost like he's using them. Like he's a fake person that's trying to infiltrate that community and pretend like he's looking out for trans people, but he's not. He's not an ally of the community, because if he was an ally of the community, he wouldn't hurt members of that community. And I've noticed that there's a lot of people like that try to pretend like they're these allies of all these different communities, and they're really not.
I don't consider myself gay at all.
No, I'm usually bottom.
Huh?
I don't bottom. My penis, I don't use it, like in the bedroom.
He doesn't show gratitude for his country. He doesn't show gratitude for his baby mama, for his children, for his family. He only talks to his dad like once a year in person, real life. Like, dude, that's so weird to me. You enter a relationship with someone with good family values and you compliment them on their family values, talk about, oh, I love that about you. Yet you don't embody that. It just comes across so fake, bro. Like the way that he thinks about things is just fundamentally wrong, in my opinion. And I would love to know what you think about it in the comments below. But like I said earlier, it's weird to try and do the most for people you don't even know, belonging to a community that you're not a part of, yet you don't treat your children right. You don't treat your family right. You don't treat your blood right. Like that's the most, it just blows my mind.
Penis is much more fun to play with, as long as it's female, right? It's a female penis, not a male penis.
I feel like that meme of the guy that's like, what the hell is that even? Because, dude, you're just talking out of your butt. You're saying nonsense. You're talking about the female, male peen. It's a peen. I mean, regardless, if you're attracted to the way it smells, then you should have entered a relationship with a ladyboy that was on hormones.
The female penis normally like and smells a little bit different because of usually hormones or like the way that they like take care of it. And so the energy of it is different.
You knew from the beginning of the relationship that Faith isn't on hormones. So you're trying to change somebody. That's incredibly manipulative. To enter a relationship and want to change somebody to fit the mold that you have of them in your head. It's just wrong. It's morally wrong. And this is a very immoral person that wants to open up a trans-owned community center in the Philippines. That's his 7-year plan. How about you take care of your kids and your baby mama and do the right things for the people that are in your life right now in the United States? That makes no sense to me, because you can create a beautiful life regardless of wherever you're at in the world. If you work hard and you work smart, how do you lose? You stay consistent, you're going to do it. And I believe in you. I believe in everybody. But it all comes down to the mentality, because when you have a piss poor mentality and you constantly make excuses for yourself, this is how your life turns out, and it's pathetic. Whoa, let's do something wacky and go back in time, because September 18th, 2024, Starcasm put out this article titled, "Before the 90-Day Loren Allen Banned from 90 Day Fiancé Subreddit for Vile Comments." Loren Allen from Season 7 of Before the 90 Days has been banned from the largest 90 Day Fiancé subreddit for making what some fans are calling vile and abhorrent comments about America, white people, his ex-wife, and women's bodies. Loren Allen Reddit AMA. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything, a format typically found on social news site reddit.com. The concept is that notable figures open themselves up to the comment section of a particular forum and provide fans with personal/direct replies to the questions. Loren did just that when he recently participated in an AMA on Thursday, September 5th, in the subreddit for TLC's 90 Day Fiancé. And wowzers, look at that, Socks. The group currently boasts 745,000 members and is an extremely popular resource for series information amongst fans of the show. During Allen's discussion with fans, things took a nasty turn, literally, when the 90 Day star started making comments about rotting vagina sweat. Loren said, "Hormones control somewhat of your sweat, smells like men are disgusting, and cis women vagina gets so gross, and you're always forcing them to shower, but trans doesn't have a rotting vagina." Loren went on to say, "My exes hate my kids, and my ex-wife hates me, says I'm bad, and I end up moving with my abusive exes to not live on the streets, so I only see them rarely. Last time we went camping together, it was good. If I find," wait, what does it say? "If I find a family willing to adopt us, maybe I'll get custody from my succubus ex-wife." So he meant family, but I mean, he'll write thy instead of they. This guy has the worst spelling and grammar that we've ever seen, arguably, up there with the Dirty Bird. Loren also revealed during his teenage years that he lived with a woman that was on speed and sold meth. "I want to devote my life to charity and never make money again, but I have an evil ex-wife. Hormones control your sweat smells, so male sweat and men in general are disgusting pigs, so I need a female sweat smell. And there is a difference in taste when your mouth is all over their body." So once again, like I said earlier, thinking caps on, he's insulting Faith because Faith isn't taking hormones. The article continues, when asked why they removed the AMA, Mod, I'm the Jeff Now, replied, "Calling white people the devil and making misogynistic comments about the female anatomy was impossible to overlook." My wet socks, hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about low IQ Loren and Faith's relationship. I hope to see you all in the next video. If you got some spare coin, please check out our Yourwetsock channel membership program for the custom emojis, the exclusive content, all ad-free videos. 10 out of 10, totally worth.